Hello friends, let's continue to follow what's happening in Polish society. Here, everyday xenophobia is growing and thriving in public transport, and there are drunken brawls at cultural festivals. We're investigating new high-profile incidents. They're all connected. Well, friends, what does street radicalism lead to when right-wing rhetoric turns into real violence? A detailed, systematic analysis of this situation is in this video. Please watch it until the end. Friends, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel right now. Huge thanks to everyone who doesn't hold back. Simple actions take just 2 seconds. Thank you for your support. Yes, you can write, Baldy, why aren't you at the front if you're such a patriot? And be sure to write, Baldy, why aren't you at the C? Well, something like that to help promote the video. Friends, let's start with a disturbing picture, not a recent one, just a picture. Oh, this news is from Poznań. A group of drunk citizens attacked a Ukrainian child with insults. Verbal aggression wasn't enough for them. When the boy tried to leave, he was struck in the head. Well, in short, it's the classic behavior of a cowardly mob to pick on someone defenseless and hit them. And why? Apparently it's fun, right? Well, in this story, I have to tell you, unfortunately, it's already becoming a pattern in Poland. But there was still a decent person, a Pole, who didn't stick his head in the sand and tried to stand up for the kid. What do you think? What did these members of that pack do? Instead of being ashamed, they started a fight. A 2-meter-tall guy punched the man in the face. And by the way, this guy was with his wife. He said, What are you doing? Calm down, you dogs. What are you doing? Sorry, I really didn't mean to offend dogs with that comparison, but he got punched in the face. That was the result of his brave act. The man did make it home, but he lost his memory and ended up in the hospital. Apparently, he might have gotten a concussion. That's how it is, friends. So, as they say, beat up your own, as they say, so the outsiders get scared. That's the whole result of street radicalism for you. First, they're brave in a crowd against children, and then they beat up those who try to say, come to your senses, stop. Those who try to bring them back to basic human decency. Yes, the police are handling the case and seizing camera footage. I hope these so-called brave guys are found and fully prosecuted, as this goes beyond hooliganism. This is simply savagery, which should not exist in a normal society. Yes, there will definitely be some geniuses who will say that they were provoked, that the guys were just driving along and were provoked. Yes. Next, the story. Płock. In the Polish city of Płock, a man attacked someone on a city bus. Again, it was a teenager, a 15-year-old from Ukraine. Of course, the Ukrainian provoked him, right? There you go. And why? Simply for speaking Ukrainian. Nothing else. Who let them do that? They didn't even have permission to breathe Polish air. What was their next offense? Speaking a foreign language. According to the teenager, the man started saying that in Poland you have to speak Polish. Then he slapped the young man in the face, and after that he pushed both of them out onto the street. Yes, the teenager's mother says that after this incident her son stopped feeling safe. She says they're afraid to speak their native language. Płock prosecutors have launched an investigation and are working to identify the attacker. Another incident, yes, as we can already see, attacks on Ukrainians are happening against the backdrop of changing public sentiment in Poland. Yes, unfortunately, friends, I'll tell you that now. As you can see, people are getting punished harshly for their words. And this works both ways. A folk culture festival. It's a place where songs are usually sung, traditions are celebrated, and history is remembered. But sometimes there's a person who decides to turn a cultural event, well, probably into an action movie. A cheap one. That's exactly what happened at the 44th Lemko Culture Festival, Lemko Watra. This is the Polish city of Gdynia. According to the police, a citizen of Ukraine, 46 years old, supposedly an adult, arrived at the festival already heavily intoxicated. The test showed 1.5 promille. Instead of getting acquainted with the Lemko cultural heritage, the man chose a time-tested method of self-assertion. He started a conflict with those around him. The people present noticed. He had a knife and security intervened. It's unknown who said what to whom there. Of course, we do not justify the crime. That's right, because the 37-year-old deputy, a prominent member of the Lemko Union, received several blows. Yes, he received injuries to his thigh, arm, and back. Well, thank God they are superficial, and they do not pose a threat to his life. The doctors provided him with assistance. So, well, the police came onto the scene. Well, since the knife fight enthusiast decided that voluntarily obeying the law was too boring, the officers used a taser. Yes, well, that's how it was. After a brief introduction to modern persuasion tools, the troublemaker was first taken to the medics, then to the holding cell. Now, instead of enjoying the festival, the man faces a much less festive program. He has already been charged with causing bodily harm, and the police, together with the prosecutor's office, intend to seek pre-trial detention. Well, most likely the troublemaker will be deported. Of course, let's discuss it. Well, I'll repeat, it's not known who said what to whom, yes. Maybe the Ukrainian is completely right, or maybe not, yes. He heard something like, go back to Ukraine, and that's it. He lost his temper, yes. But the story is telling yes, because as you can see, one drunk person with a knife can ruin the festive atmosphere for hundreds of people in just a few minutes. Alcohol and bladed weapons, friends, that's a combination that ends either in the hospital or in jail, yes. Well, the only good thing, the only positive, is that no one died, yes, because the ending could have been much more tragic. Yes, well, actually, I'll tell you that the situation in Poland is heating up. Here are two more videos I suggest we analyze, yes. Take a look. Let's take a look at this wonderful video from a Polish tram.
One more stop, you trash. Get off up the hill. Get off, you idiots. 20 stops, people are even. They're standing, I'm waiting here, a bunch of Kyles. You won't take it, I'll do it myself and carry it in. Roll it up, Kurwa, I'll carry it in. Kurwa, everybody has to get the fuck out at the next stop, or I'll carry you out, bitch. For catching. Legia Warsaw, Kurwa, Poland, Siedmiska. Live, right. If you don't take it, Kurwa, I'll take it out.
Here's such a wonderful video, my friends, and a Polish citizen is riding the tram, yes, and sees some school kids. So he decides that in front of him is apparently an NKVD board from the 1940, and then he pulls the whole for Katyn line. Do you understand the irony here, my friends? The citizen is sincerely convinced that he is making a powerful geopolitical gesture and restoring historical justice in this particular tram car. But in reality, if we're being serious, it just looks ridiculous. My God, where are the modern school kids who turn around and discuss their kid stuff? And where are the complex, tragic entanglements in military history? Trying to take revenge, apparently, for events that happened almost a century ago on people who didn't even exist back then, in my opinion, is the height of absurdity. Of course, history must be known, it must be remembered, but to use it as a club against children on public transport is foolish. It seems foolish to me. Well, in short, it's the full display of common people's frenzy. Yes, yes. And we also have, friends, another wonderful video, 1 minute 30. Let's watch it.
Take a look.
No, so that means...
That here, sir, a Ukrainian is working, but he speaks Polish. Only you probably hear, well, I know. I don't understand from what context. I got it. And what else?
Do you only have Ukrainians in your store?
Do you need anyone else?
Maybe a Polish person could help me figure things out.
And you're with Xenophobic, right? Oh, well, that's great. The conversation will be recorded in a moment, just letting you know, sir, so we will start recording the conversation now, because we will not allow such things, so please repeat what you said.
Co powiedziałem?
No, proszę powiedzieć się.
I was just talking to the Turks. Well?
Well?
Okay.
But how do you not understand me if I'm speaking Polish?
Well, see, I don't even understand with Xenocod.
But what accent, sir?
The one you're using right now.
Well, I understand, sir, but you know what? Most Poles, sir, talk to me so they understand me. So you just want to provoke, so you're just doing it, you're just provoking. No, so you think you're proud of yourself, but you're doing things, you know, xenophobic things, so yeah.
Well, friends, that's the video. Let's analyze this commedia dell'arte, as they say in sunny Italy, also from a logical point of view. Here we have a citizen who thinks of himself at the very least as a defender of national manufacturers and decided to launch a crusade against a seller of two-wheeled vehicles. He proudly beats his chest and says, "I'm a xenophobe." Man, that's a diagnosis, that's not an honorable title. But the best part is yet to come. As you can see, all that pomp and this unshakable stance are instantly reduced to nothing by a single phrase. Our conversation is being recorded, dear friend, and right away there's a phenomenal display of backpedaling on the fly. Where did the fierce accuser go? He's gone. A frightened ordinary person appears, who starts mumbling about translation difficulties, and the complicated accent is just pure absurdity. Because the caveman arrogance and loud statements of such characters exist only as long as they feel they can get away with it. As soon as there's even a hint of responsibility, this whole so-called botanical process turns into cowardice. If, my friends, we look at the bigger picture systematically, ignoring the minor details, we see a classic systemic diagnosis. Here are the wonderful stories, all 5 of them. And the tram fighter for historical justice and the phone expert on purity in the ranks. A drunken gang attacks a child, yes, and in response Ukrainians aren't saints either. Yes, an insane character with a knife is something else. And unfortunately, these are all links in the same chain. This chain didn't appear by itself, not out of thin air. When right-wing political forces have been stoking public debate for years, inflating historical grievances and trading in xenophobia for, well, you know what? Elections, right? They want to get into power soon. They get exactly what they've sown. It works for them because the average person thinks, well, if they even think at all, right? Well, because I see that for some people, their head is just there to wear a hat. And from high platforms, from TV screens, hate speech is broadcast every day. That means the social contract has changed. That means now it's allowed. And as a result, all sorts of fringe types from both sides take this rhetoric as a direct call to action. Some go to restore order in the trams, others take up arms. This is the natural result of right-wing populism, when instead of solving real social and economic problems, society is pumped full of mutual hatred. In the end, it always leads either to a hospital bed or a police detention cell. Because an atmosphere of impunity and encouragement of radical slogans inevitably turns into run-of-the-mill knife violence and hooliganism. Well, that's how it is. Life under capitalism in all its ugliness, just as it is. Unfortunately, my friends, nothing suggests that things will get better. Well, that's how it is. So take care of yourselves and your kids. And seriously, in Poland, try not to shout too loudly, whether in Ukrainian, Russian, or even in Polish. It's better not to shout here at all. Yeah, because remember that story, how a Pole got punched in the face so badly he ended up in the hospital just because someone thought he was Ukrainian. As you can see, things are the way they are right now. So take care of yourselves and be careful for the time being. See you next time.